Hello, my name is David, and welcome back to my channel. We have yet another haul. This one I knew was coming, both aspects of it. But before we'll start with the I had a care package from Greg at Another Bibliophile Reads. I was one of the, I think, 3 winners of his giveaway for a trio of westerns for June on the Range, an event coming to you this June, hosted by Greg, Criminali, Michael K. Vaughan, among others. I don't know that I've ever read a Western, and so now I own 3 of them, and I will be reading at least one of these in the month of June. What better way to celebrate a birthday month than to read a Western for the first time, right? You only live once. Don't think I'll be trying a whole bunch of other new genres in the month of June. So, we have Hunted Writers by Max Brandt. I hear Max Brandt is a really well-known author, highly regarded in terms of Westerns. This is a just over 200 pages. Of course, there had to be a Louis L'Amour. This is Riley's Luck. This is from the world's best-selling frontier storyteller. And this one's, again, just over 200, about 215, 216. And then the Cornudas Guns by Ray Hogan, which has fewer than 200 pages. So 3 Westerns. Not going to promise to read all 3. You'll hear a little later this month. There's a different event going on in June that will be a bigger priority. Yes, even bigger than June on the Range, at least for me, and I'm excited for that. So we have the other box. This is the last of the winnings on my splurging. I'm cutting all of that off for the entirety of May, up until June, when inevitably at some point in time I will hopefully get books either as a gift or via some sort of a gift card or something or other that I may use to turn it into some books. And I'll probably use it to buy some of the bigger purchases. If there's a big book of science fiction stories that I want to pick up. There's some Library of America volumes, Ezra Pound, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, that I would love to pick up. So I'll probably prioritize something bigger than a whole bunch of little ones. But the books in here all have something in common. Before I get to that, I'm going to just let you know. I finished reading Saga just yesterday. 2 days ago. Sunday afternoon. So I had read the very first issue a month or so ago. In an effort of sampling a couple others after reading and loving Northlanders. And I was enthralled with it, and so I found this copy of Volume 1, half-price books for $5, so I picked it up. Once I started issue 2, I told myself, okay, I'm going to just read this one. Got to the end of that, okay, I'll read one more. Got to the end of that, I should really stop, but I'm going to read one more. And then I got to the end. I read through the last 5 issues in the 6-issue series. And look for a written review of that, hopefully coming up tomorrow on my blog. I'm really, really enjoyed it. I'm excited to dive into even more Saga, and that's another candidate for purchases. I'm sure there's some kind of a big omnibus for Saga, and I might just pick something like that up too. But I have found an eBay seller. They caught my attention because they had posted a whole bunch of epic collections that had starting bids at $1. And I bid on an obscene amount of those. Didn't get any of the epic collections. But I went nosing around the rest of their store and found that they had a whole bunch of other graphic novels at $1 starting bid. And so I bid on a handful of them through $1 or $2. In few very, very rare instances, up to a 3. But the idea was to not spend nearly as much as I would if I found it even used somewhere locally. And so I've got a whole bunch here, so I'm just going to start going through this box. I know some of what's in here, but at this point in time, I don't remember all of it. And so the biggest book in here, this is still wrapped in shrink wrap. And I don't think this is what I thought it was. I was expecting a graphic novel. This is Dragon Age, The World of Thedas, Volume 2. So this is a really nice, thick hardcover. I've played and enjoyed some of the Dragon Age games. And it sounds like this has got heroes, villains, poetry, recipes, but it's the masterpiece of fantasy at your fingertips. It takes you inside a universe legendary for its rich lore and unforgettable characters through stunning art and inviting prose created by the very artists and writers who brought it all to life. This is a guide that is a perfect entry point for newcomers and the ultimate resource for dedicated fans. I mean, this is not bad. I hope that I'll enjoy it, and maybe it'll get me feeling an urge to play Dragon Age again. Pick up and play it. So, here's one I knew nothing about, but from that title alone, it caught my interest. Long Walk to Valhalla at $1. This is a nice hardcover here. This is by Adam Smith, Matthew Fox. It's got some nice art in here. It says, Rory of Arkansas, you're gonna die today. There are many things that Rory would like to forget about his childhood growing up in rural Arkansas. Sometimes he'd even like to forget about Joe, his mentally challenged older brother, both his closest friend and biggest problem. But when a young girl named Sylvia shows up, claiming to be a Valkyrie sent by Norse god Odin to deliver Rory to Valhalla, he will have to face the past he's tried to lock away. This stunning debut graphic novel from writer Adam Smith and artist Matthew Fox weaves a lyrical southern fable exploring loss, family, and what it means to truly come home. So, again, I won this for $1. This is, you can see here, normally $24.99. And I'm genuinely excited from that description there. This is Rising Son of Aries. This is a prequel to the best-selling series. I read and enjoyed the series, at least the original trilogy. I haven't read any of the second trilogy that's been coming out. But it's got some interesting art in here. And as you would expect, it's as violent as the books turned out to be. So I'm excited to read that one. Another one I knew nothing about, but based on that cover and this title, how could I have not thrown $1 at it? Last Reign, Kings of War by Walt Becker. At the end of civilization, tyrants rule the land with an iron grip. Only the Kings of War can ensure this is their last reign. That is awesome. It's got some nice art in here. So this is, out of this entire box, this is the only one that was a known entity to me, because I read issue 1 of this as well. And absolutely loved it. It hooked me. I just finished the Saga. I took upstairs Huntress, which I'm going to be reading that, or Monstrous. I'm going to be reading that next, and then I'm going to be reading this volume 1 of Die, because I'm really, really excited to get back to that one. Okay. So we've got some Avatar: The Last Airbender graphic novels here. This is The Rift Part 2. The Rift Part 3. So I'll need to hunt down Part 1. These are normally $10.99. The Search Part 1. And The Search Part 3. So I'll have to find Part 2 of that as well. But I absolutely love Avatar: The Last Airbender. Just recently finished watching The Legend of Korra and really enjoyed that one as well. Speaking of a blast from the past, back when it was a YouTube little mini series, I watched The Guild, starring Felicia Day along with others. And so when I saw this in there, it's like, yeah, I'll throw $1 at that. We'll see if I can get it. I mean, it's got some good art in there. Really enjoyable little series. All right, so the real things that drove me to start bidding some X-Men. So this is Generation X. I've been really loving reading some X-Men lately. Another series that I really enjoyed back in the day, Dollhouse. It was done by Joss Whedon. Shortly after watching Firefly for like the 80th time, I went and binged this series and absolutely loved it. And really want to revisit it at some point in time. This is one that maybe Michael can tell me something about. Superman Tarzan, Sons of the Jungle. I'm sure he's probably read this. I mean, how could he have not? It's got Superman, it's got Tarzan. It's really short, so it should be a nice, easy read. This is Hinterkind. The human race didn't get a happily ever after. After 300,000 years at the top of the food chain, it took only 7 months for humanity to become an endangered species. And, yeah, that's looks interesting. The cover really pulled me in. And you can see here, things are just really fearsome in the world. This is one I'm excited to get to, Beowulf. I'm less excited about Neil Gaiman. I've rarely enjoyed anything by Neil Gaiman. None of it has been a fantastic read for me. Even Norse mythology was just okay. I tried to issue one of Sandman, Volume 1, and that's probably one that I'm not going to pick up unless I get some really strong, some people whose opinions I value tremendously telling me that I should give Sandman a deeper look. Okay, look at that cover. Look at that. So this is Spider Kiss by Harlan, Ellison. Simply put, this is the best, the meanest rock novel ever written. That's why it's the only one enshrined in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Buy it. It bites back. And this is not a graphic novel. This is a novel. I didn't realize that he was also listing some books. So I'm wondering if these next couple okay. So yeah, this is Lakemar, the Knight and Knave of Swords by Fritz Leiber. This is book 7. So on the back here, Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser. So yeah, it's another book. I've been wanting to read Fafhrd and the Grey Mouser. I really, really want to read it. And I have not been able to put my hands on a copy of Swords and Deviltry yet. But now I have also Swords and Ice Magic. This is book 6 in that same Fafhrd and Mouser series. So I'm part of the way there. Another comic series that caught my attention. This is Forge. This is 5 worlds, 5 different stories, 1 fantastic reading experience. You've got just some great artwork in here. This is one I think I'm going to really enjoy. So I got Volume 1 and Volume 2. Volume 2, let's face it, this cover caught my eye. And then I went back and put a bid also on Volume 1. I mean, this is just promising to be fantastic. Just got a couple more in here. We've got Star Wars Han Solo. This is the solo comic Han and Star Wars fans deserve. So everyone's favorite scoundrel goes solo. This is a Marvel line, so we'll see how we get along with this one. There's Han. we have all new X-Men. This is the Utopians. Bendis, Asrar, Sorrentino, and Del Mundo. So this is the all new X-Men face, the Black Vortex. And then last but not least, all new X Factor 3, Axis. So this is Axis reaches Washington. You see there you've got the Sentinel. And so I'm excited about those. So there you have it. It's a graphic novel haul that like quadruples my graphic novel collection, which was previously doubled when Michael K. Vaughan sent me a handful of Conan, which I've worked my way through half of those now, and really, really enjoyed those. If you get a chance to pick up any kind of an epic collection or anything on Conan and Marvel, I assume the Dark Horse years are just as great. I think it's Dark Horse that went to after Marvel. But they've been fantastic. I'm really, really enjoying my graphic novel reading experience. And that's part of why I went ahead and threw out some really, really low bids on just a variety of things. Hoping to find some that are new favorites, some that tie into things I've enjoyed in the past. And so we'll be able to enjoy having some kind of a revisiting of some of that nostalgia. And the unexpected delight of the Harlan, Ellison and Fritz Leiber being books rather than graphic novels. So I'm going to have to add Sword and Deviltry and probably Jarrell of Jory, which I've wanted to pick up ever since Michael mentioned it on his channel last month. I'll have to add both of those books onto my short list of things to start looking at in June with my limited, very, very limited budget that I'm going to have to give myself, because I am at a point where I need to buy a new bookshelf. You can see I'm stacking on top of a bookshelf right now, which is workable, but is not the ideal. So hope you have a great day or rest of your evening whenever you're watching this. And yeah, stay tuned. I'll be... I hear there's someone with a name that might be familiar who might be getting a care package from the State Levon Manor at some point in time in the future. And I'm sure he'll be back for a book haul at that point in time to open it up and share with all of you exactly what's in there. So have a great day.